So in this lesson we're looking at how to have good hand position and fret your first note. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make a C shape with our hand like that. Alright, and then we're going to bring the thumb underneath the guitar and we're going to put it roughly in the middle of the neck, pointing upwards or a little bit diagonal. Should look something like this. Okay, so it should roughly look like that. Okay, I'm going to keep my wrist bent like this, and it's going to allow me to basically not put the palm of my hands on the bottom of the neck. So we're looking for a little bit of space between that, like that. Okay, and now if we just roughly let the fingers lay flat against the strings, just to get used to that position. Okay, now this is only one position. This is a good place to start. There's other ways to play, have your hand in different positions, but this is just a good way to start, especially for the things we're going to do, when we start doing power chords. This is a great position because it's going to help stretch your fingers out a little bit further than what you think they can. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to show you how to fret your first note. Now the first thing you need to know is what are the frets. Alright, so they're just these metal parts here that divide up this section here. Okay, so basically when someone says to you play the first fret, you see this first metal part and we play behind it in here. Alright, so this is our first fret, our second fret, third fret, fourth fret, etc. Things like that. Now we've got these dots on top of our guitar that help us out. Now you might have a classical guitar, you might have borrowed that, you're learning guitar on that, and a lot of the time they don't have too many dots on it. But generally if you've got an electric guitar, we've usually got them on like the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 12th fret, etc. It carries on. Now we use those dots to help us out find where all the frets are. So rather than always counting like 1, 2, 3, there's my 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's my 5th fret. We've got these dots and they help us out, navigate where the actual frets are. Okay, so basically your first dot is on the 3rd fret, so that helps you out there. So if you had to play a riff that was open free, straight away, there's my 3rd fret. Open is just, you're not actually going to fret a note, you just play the string without actually playing, fretting it. And you can just go straight to the 3rd fret from there, so that saves you a lot of time. And then so learn where those dots are, because that's going to save you a lot of time rather than moving your hand around, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That really helps you out there. Alright, so without me running, let's get on to fretting a note. So we're going to fret the 3rd fret. Okay, so we're going to put the first finger. Okay, the other thing I want to say is when we talk about fingers in this course, this is our first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Okay, so we're going to use the first finger and we're going to put it on the 3rd fret. So you notice that you've got your dot, your first dot is the 3rd fret, so find that one. We're going to be doing this on your lowest string, the thickest string. Okay, now we want to put it just behind the metal part. So we don't want to be actually on the metal, but just a little bit behind it. And what we're looking to do is play it until we get a note to ring out of it. We don't want it to buzz. Okay. Apologies, mine does actually buzz a tiny little bit. I've got my action set really low and it does actually buzz a tiny bit at the moment, but only slightly, so just ignore that. What you're looking to do is squeeze your finger into the note until you can hear that note ringing. So we're looking just behind this fret. We don't want to be actually on the fret. If you're on the fret, then as you can hear, you get this lovely buzzing sound. The note's not actually going to ring. The other thing, you might not be squeezing hard enough. You might get something like that where it's not actually ringing. Okay, so that just tells you you've got to squeeze just a little bit harder. So try that. Try and get it so the note rings out. Okay, the other thing you want to watch out for though, make sure you don't squeeze too hard, because if you squeeze too hard you get this sound. So you can hear it's bending it out of tune. So it's going to take a bit of practice so that you find that sweet spot, so that you play the note, it rings every time, and we're not bending it, getting it out of tune, and we're not getting that lovely buzzing sound. So whenever you learn any of the songs in the course, basically make sure that to start off with, I'd sit there, whatever notes you've got to go between. Say you had to go between 3 and 2, I'd personally just sit there, just going 3, 2, 3, 2, and get used to it, because it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to how much you've actually got to squeeze down on these frets. Okay, the other thing for women especially, you're going to want to we need to keep our nails short. Okay, because if your nails are longer, then when we come to play power chords and certain things, they're going to get in the way. So as we curve our, arch our fingers, basically if you've got long nails, I'm afraid they get in the way and you can't actually do certain things. Not as much of a problem for guys, but generally you want to keep your nails nice and short, because otherwise, like I say, they're going to get in the way of playing certain things. The only other thing I was going to mention was the open notes. I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned that, but just in case I didn't, it's just, whenever you hear an open or you see a 0 in tab, that tells you to play the string open. You don't have to fret anything. That would be your open string. Okay, so I hope you got all that down, and I'll see you in the next lesson.